Hey everyone! So as promised in my last video, I am here to share with you some of my practices and the books that I'm reading and what's going on this month with regard to those things, and also how I plan that, incorporate that into my monthly, weekly, daily planning. So the first thing I want to show you is, there I go, getting blurry. The first thing I want to show you is my planner, because I'm such a planner girl. I love planners, a good planner. And I discovered this one this year from Inkwell Press. I'm so in love with it. And this is what I want to show you. I'm going to show you a blank. Let's see. So every month gives you a mission board, okay, which I love working through each month. But the really important thing that I'm working with right now is, see if you can see it, these daily habit trackers. And there are other planners and planner tools that offer you habit trackers. I find it very helpful, extremely helpful, you don't even know, to have a tool like that. So I have been picking 3 practices each month. This is just the second month I'm doing it. So, but they're different this month from last month. So in February, I wanted to try sitting meditation every day, engaging in tarot study every day, and then goddess devotions every day. And I decided to switch that up this month and change my focus a little bit. So this month I am working with, now I'm still working with goddess devotions, and this is really important to me. I am reading just one a day in this Goddess Companion book by Patricia Monahan. There we go, the whole thing, frame. It's a daily devotion, basically. So any of you who have ever been familiar with, I mean, I grew up Christian, and you know, my stepmom always had like these devotional books, and we were always given devotional books where, you know, you maybe read a scripture passage and then there's a commentary on it, and then you can journal on it or whatever. This is basically the same thing, only with like goddess prayers and poems and things like that. And I really always try to keep some kind of something bringing me back to goddess, to the divine feminine, to the female face of the divine. That's really important to me. And if anybody else is interested in that, I can do a video about that. So this is one of my 3 things for this month, and it was last month. Now, the other 2, I am really working right now on my, I guess the best way to say it is cultivating my connection with Source and learning to trust that, learning to feel it and feel it all the time, and to trust my intuition. I think that the more you're doing that, the more finally honed your intuition is. I just am feeling so much like I want to be plugged in. I want to be connected. And so I'm working on practices that will hopefully be doing that. And so the one that I'm working with this month, now I have spent some time in a New Thought community, specifically a Center for Spiritual Living, which is Science of Mind. I'm happy to talk about that a little bit too in the future if anybody's interested in that. But, you know, and I've done some reading, not just, I took a lot of classes when I was with that community and came real close. I was thinking about going through ministerial training to be a minister in that tradition, but I ultimately decided not to. I've also read books and studied from angles of different New Thought communities like Unity, stuff like that. So there's a style of prayer called affirmative prayer. It's very similar in Science of Mind. It's called spiritual mind treatment, which probably sounds weird to you if you're not familiar with it, but it's actually really, really cool. And I do it differently from how anybody ever taught me to do it, and I think of it differently than what I read about and what I was taught. So I kind of do my own version of it, and I don't know what to call it, and I haven't found anyone else that seems to be writing about it. So maybe I'll do a video about that too. But engaging in this practice that is all about, it's called prayer, but you're not like praying like I'm praying to a being that is God or whatever. It's not that. It's really more of, to me, like a meditation, like an aligning process, like aligning your being, yourself, your mind with source. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, and living, really doing it so that you are living in the awareness of that connection and that oneness, that one presence, right? That one power, one presence, all of that kind of stuff. That ultimately, and this is how I think of it, right? If everything in our universe originated from the Big Bang, right? If that's true, we all started from the same substance, from the exact same point. And so everything that spun out and was created from that point is all part of the same whole. We think of ourselves as separate. And of course, I mean, we have to an extent, right? We wouldn't be able to function in the world if we didn't. But ultimately, like this book right here, this physical thing, and I are part of one thing, right? Part of one whole. That is the only real thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm sounding really weird, but whatever. So, yeah, so I'm working with that. I should have put my hair up in a ponytail before making this video. It's super hot in my house right now. Yeah, so, and I'll say more about that later in the month as I work through some of it. It's been a few years, and I've really been feeling like I wanted to get back to it, and this month I've committed to getting back to it. And so that brings me to, well, I'll get to the books. I'm reading some books this month too, and I'll share those. But practice number 3 is an oracle draw every day. And this is really about trusting that connection, right? And really aligning myself with source and believing that, I won't even say believing, knowing that that connection is always there. It can't not be there. And so I feel like this is, and it's getting me into, because last month one of my practices was the tarot study, right? Which isn't much of a practice. It's very much, in my brain kind of stuff. And I realized I'm really getting bound up in my brain, and I need to be trusting my intuition. I need to be learning to do that. So I have this beautiful deck. It's called the Oracle Tarot, that really works. It's really like a hybrid between tarot and oracle, and I love it, love it, love it so much. And it's surprising, probably for people who know me, they wouldn't think I would be into a deck like this, but I really love it. And I will tell you, if I can find the card that I pulled yesterday, like this is how amazing it's been for me. So yesterday, like I knew I just needed to do not a thing yesterday. I have been so busy doing so much and just feeling just frayed at the edges and about to lose it. And yesterday was my self-care day. And yesterday when I went to pull a card, and I'm really using this affirmative prayer / mind treatment / like whatever it is that I'm doing in conjunction with the pull. Like I'm working through that, and I'm doing that, and then I will pull a card, right? So I really try to get my mind there, and then I pull a card. So I did, and actually before I pulled the card, I thought to myself, I was like, that card better have something to do with self-care, because I can't imagine anything else. That is it for me today. That is it. So it jumped out of the deck. And those of you who work with Oracle and Tarot, you know what I mean. When a card just jumps out. And sometimes I'm skeptical. I'm like, I probably was just shuffling funny. And so I just took the card and I just kind of put it aside face down. I didn't look at what it was. And then I'm shuffling. And then I just like reached over. I was just like, I wasn't even thinking. I just reached over. I was like, boom. And I flipped it over. Caring for yourself. So this has been a really powerful practice, and I've only done it for a few days now. And it's interesting because so far I feel like they've kind of been telling me things I already know, and telling me things that have already happened. Like I already decided it was a self-care day. I was like, this card better tell me something about self-care. And then this is what comes up. Today, a card came up that had to do with unpleasant, like basically getting you news that you're not anticipating and you don't want to hear, an unexpected revelation that's not necessarily good. And that had literally just happened. So it's not foretelling anything. It's just kind of confirming. I mean, for me, I guess it's doing what I need it to do. It's confirming that connection. Right? It's confirming that connection is there, and that it's always there and it's always available. And I'm shocked every time, and I doubt it every time. And so that's what I'm really working through. That's what I'm really working through this month. And it might end up being longer than that, but I wanted to share with you, especially yesterday, this is what I was repeating. Something out of one of the books I'm reading this month. Let me find. I totally forgot how to go to my notes. Okay. Because I'm reading it on my Kindle. I don't know if you guys like to read on e-ink Kindles. I love it. It looks beautiful and clean and whatever. I don't need to be an advertisement for Kindle right now, but okay. So this is what I said. I am the heart of divine love. I am the mind of divine wisdom. I am the life of divine life, right? And I was just saying this, when I did those motions, like, I am the heart of divine love. I am the mind of divine wisdom. I am the life of divine life. And then I just said it as I was shuffling my cards. So, okay. Now, so those are the practices I'm working with and some of the tools. I want to show you these books, and I will show you on my Kindle because that's where I have them. I'll show you the cover. So this one that I'm working with, the one I just referenced, is How to Pray Without Talking to God. And this is written by a Unity minister, Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett. And I've read it before. I do have a paper copy of it somewhere in a box. Love this book. Love it. Highly recommend it. So you can see here, zoom. That's what it looks like. And that's what the cover looks like on the paper copy too. And then you can see the other book that I'm working through right now. There we go. Is Buddhist Boot Camp by Timber Hawkeye. This was recommended. Here's what it looks like. My husband and I have started going to a couple of meditation groups, and here, there we go. And the one that we went to for the first time this past Thursday, one of the guys there recommended this book to us, and I'm really loving that so far. It's really broken down. Like, you can just read like one little section of it a night or in the morning or whatever. So, yeah, we've really been practicing around here. We've been practicing Buddhism around here. And it's something that I've always been drawn to, and it's always resonated with me. I've never practiced it to this extent, and it's not religious Buddhism. It's more of a secular Buddhism, but it's transformed some things in our lives, and I'm sure I will talk about that eventually too. So yeah, so these are my tools. Believe it or not, my planner is like a big tool for my spiritual work, and yeah, I've got my Oracle deck, and I've got my Goddess book, and a Kindle with my books on it. So, yeah, so I guess that's all I have to say about that. So as we go further into the month, I will share a little bit more about that. And again, if there's anything in particular that you're curious about and you want me to talk about more, any of the practices in particular, or anything I bring up that you're like, I have never heard of that, but that sounds weird or interesting, or please tell me more, comment or whatever. And I will be happy to do so, because if you're not interested, then I'm really just doing this for myself. So anyway, happy day, happy night, whatever it is for you watching this. And I'm sure I'll be back at you real soon. Okay? Take care.